So our next presentation is Business Connect service, and I've got a great deal of pleasure in introducing Garry Lloyd, who's Manager of Business Advisory Coaching and Contracts. Best part is you're a Willoughby resident.
I know.
Fantastic.
They've got my neighbours here.
Terrific. Rent-a-crowd. Excellent. Now, Garry has a history of leading successful projects, and you're a business founder, and he's going to introduce Business Connect, which is an advisory service which can help small businesses by providing an understanding of cash flow, working capital, and helping develop a business plan. Welcome, Garry.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to come to Willoughby Council. Normally I'm here for a DA, and I've got to admit they've had to babysit me from my very first one many years ago. I've been a resident for nearly 25 years, and I love coming back to Willoughby and see it again. So, let's see. Okay, so to start with, realise that the New South Wales government contracts or through tender provides a number of companies to look after their Business Connect services. We're probably the largest, and we handle all in this particular area. Something I'd like to point out, two important facts. One is we're a not-for-profit. So after we go help everybody, there are some people we charge, and we put that money straight back in the same community which is where we were working in only a few minutes before. We're also building a network. So I've had 5 businesses myself, 4 top 100 companies and 1 listed company. So I've been there a few times, and they all started from an IKEA desk for $79 at the end of my bed. So from nothing. And I really wish ServiceNow was doing a concierge service, because now I'm an expert on ABNs and company structures, but I wish I never was. So I appreciate very much the service, and also coming soon will be Amanda will be chatting as well. I've also had some cafes in this area, and I'm very much assisted and appreciated the assistance that was provided. But one of the things you'll appreciate in small business is you can get lonely. And with mental health now starting to take a big part of the picture, you've probably seen it in the press a lot more. One of the things you can really benefit from in the government side of services is there's a community, and you can talk to like-minded people as well. So I just wanted to point that out. So small businesses, as you can see, and in fact I'm perhaps an Asia Pacific expert, you'll see that we're at 98% in the Asia Pacific region is small business, and 50% of it is in New South Wales alone. This 2016 stats, by the way, it's much bigger now. So there's a couple of reasons why you might want to be in a small business. Now, just show of hands, how many people are at startups? Anyone in startups? Okay, great. So if you're in a small business, you want the freedom, and there's something you're passionate about, and you particularly want to be able to create your own environment. But something you often forget is your business should be an asset. It's not a job. And part of our job, which is set up, is to help you turn your business into an asset. Now, I come from the startup background, and you'll see at the end, I figured quite strongly in that area. I like startups myself because they usually start from the community problem and work backwards to build a solution to solve that community problem. That's very exciting to me as well. So I like both sides of the puzzle. So whether you're a startup business, the Business Connect is an entry point for you. So after ServiceNow has given you the information, it's the Business Connect product that allows anybody to call us for assistance. So if you're only having just an idea, if you've got some thoughts, or you're a startup, we can assist you. And if you're around recently at the Sydney Startup Hub, we were the business that ran the Small Business Month sessions on startups. And there was around 150 startups came in, and we assist them to get from literally idea through to pitch decks, through to funding. Then there's a lot of businesses as well as growing, this slide to me is a bit like your health. You actually need to worry about your health when you're sick, but you should really worry about your health while you're healthy too. And a lot of people often call up us advisors, and I've come from a turnaround background, when it's too late. And you really should be calling us in at the very beginning at any stage of your business. Like I said, if you parallel it with your health, you should always be looking at your health, not just when you're sick. But with the business economy changing so fast, you need to be constantly looking at your market, realigning with the market so you can stay relevant. And that today means you're probably going to change your business model. Very rarely are we in business in the same business for 20 years anymore, because the business model is constantly changing. And so we assist businesses to evolve and put the new business models in and expand into international markets. So we work hand in hand with, so we'll take a handover and a handshake from Services New South Wales, but we'll also take you to, for instance, the Shanghai foreign markets as well. So just at a high level, I want to show you two main areas where government helps you. Now, for many of you, this slide would not apply. The grants provided in New South Wales and federal government, whether you're a startup evolving or an exporting company, focused on 5 industry groups. But I just wanted to show you that there's a lot of help financially for all startup businesses or any size business, including country regions. And if I can just point out one or two. Am I allowed to move on? So, R&D tax incentive. Nearly every single person that's got a business can claim that. If you think about it, if you speak to one of us advisors, I'd be very surprised if we can't find you a reason to help grow your business and use that tax incentive. The people that put their hands up for a startup business, it's called ESIC, E-S-I-C. So if you take out an R&D tax incentive and you're a startup business, you'd be pretty well 80% there, you could achieve qualification in that. You can also then apply for ESIC, and ESIC means something really special to investors. It means if I invest in your company, when I get the gain, it's capital gains tax free. So I'm surprised how many startups I see who have not gone down that path. Because if you have $10 million to invest or $1 million to invest, where are you going to put it? Obviously, if their two companies look similar and they're growing at similar rates, I definitely would take an R&D tax incentive and ESIC as well. We can move to the minimum viable product grant as well. That's a competitive grant. I'm not going to bore you and read through all these slides. Just want to talk to you these two. The minimum viable product. Make sure you've done your homework before you get up. So after you've decided you've got an idea, the minimum viable products, which is a competitive grant, which is around $25,000. It makes sure you do the research to test the market before you enter the market. And you've got the slides there, but they've already been provided to council as well, so you're very welcome to get a copy of the slides if you get time. You can take photos of me, because there's no photos of me on there.
Then he's gone, he's already white. But I will take memory.
Yeah, so I'm just going to play, actually, can I skip this video? Because I think we're short of time, so I'll just move on and tell you. So, that's fine, that's great. So this is the Business Connect. So I just want to move into some, so the government's sitting there for a lot of grants, a lot of money in investing in very particular industries because they want to grow Australia, they want to grow New South Wales, and they pick areas where they realise we have a competitive advantage. But they also provide face-to-face help, and that's what Business Connect is. So one of the things I like to mention to startups, because they're always coming to me with the latest technology, and I go, well, to be honest, guys, it wasn't the technology that took over the market. So here's a couple of examples here. If Netflix, I used to help Blockbuster, so it kills me pointing out this slide. But Netflix, so Netflix didn't come along with technology and go, wow, we've just taken out Blockbuster, here's a new technology. Blockbuster forgot to listen to the market. And then what happened was Netflix came along and said, well, we'll fix that. They're charging late fees. People hate late fees, so there's a disruption in the market. Let's go to market now and realign with not a service that won't have late fees, and that's how it came about. We also did the taxis, it kills me again. So Uber came along. Uber didn't come along because taxis, there was a new technology. People didn't know how much the taxi ride was going to cost. How many times, did anyone ever have an argument wondering, are they taking me the shortest distance? So Uber. So quite often it's not the technology, it's just the business model. And Business Connect advisors can help you build those models. So we can do strategy. If you think about every single business, no matter what business you're in, you're either making a promise to the market, then you deliver that promise, and then you measure the success of that. And another 3 labels we could say is making a promise to the market is marketing, delivering the promise is operations, and the measuring of that promise and success of delivering that promise is finance. So whether you're a cafe, whether you're a dry cleaner, whether you're a bricklayer, a tradie, whether you're going to be Uber, it's the same 3 things. And so technically, your business advisors, you'll see, and I'll go through a couple more specific details, we provide all those services for you. We analyse your financials, we analyse the market with you, we help build the strategy, we turn it into English, and then we keep you accountable. And if you ask me what's the most valuable part of that, it's to keep you accountable. So we have a few specialties because although I lecture in Shanghai, my Mandarin's not very good. So we have business advisors in these 5 languages: Vietnamese, Arabic, Cantonese, Mandarin, and Korean. And they all provide the same services. And you don't get the one person for the entire journey because your needs are going to change. So typically we look after, actually I've got an example a little later, so I'll go through that. We might have a strategy expert, which would be like myself, and then you might need digital marketing, so we'll bring a digital marketing specialist. So I create the strategy for the entire journey, and then we bring in different advisors along the way, depending on their skill sets and depending on the skills you're missing, and we complement those. So the digital advisors, which by the way is federally funded, it's only the first 2 hours is free, and then you're getting the equivalent of $200 hour consultants for $25. And you can see cybersecurity has got to be one of the I talked about health. That's where we get caught out after the damage is done, where if we would have been caught out in the very beginning, you probably wouldn't have had the damage in the first place. But also, people often say to me, I'm always a bit surprised, Gary, we've got 1,000 people landing on my website. And I go, great, so how many orders? And they go, no orders. And I go, are you working on the conversion rate? And they go, no, I need to get more people landing. And I always say to people, revenue is for vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. So people landing is great, but we need conversions as well. So every one of these people, particularly in these digital areas, are experts and that's all they do. But they do work to a holistic map for your journey to take your business. And I keep evaluating, I'm one of the advisors who then evaluates that to make sure we never have coffee meetings. The occasional friendly coffee meeting is fine, but most of the time we need value creation. So I'm not sure if you know this, but we look after the Parramatta Light Rail project now, and a few, wherever there's basically an economic disruption, whether that be construction, and as you see, New South Wales is investing heavily in building New South Wales, so unfortunately it is going to tread on or maybe impact a few businesses, and we work with them to grow their business and make them more resilient. And one of the ways we do that is definitely building in their digital capacity. So we've had businesses, and a rail project hasn't even started in Parramatta, and now they're making more money than before we even started. And so they're saying, well, technically, our profits increased since the rail project started, whereas most people seem to complain and think they're all going down. So after one of the big stats, and this is from Google, 50% of people who do a search online will buy within 3 days from their local area. So no matter who you are, you need to have a digital presence, whether that's Instagram, whether that's Facebook, or depending on your demographic you're targeting. If you supply the NDIS space, so disability space, so you don't have to you can be in it or you can supply to it, then we provide 34 hours free advice. So you get it. So what I would do, if once ServiceNow helped me up and running, I would probably get someone in once a month for just a few hours every month. That's almost a year's advising to just guide you on your journey and help you through it, unless you have any emergencies. Then you can call us anytime. Before I just play this, the Business Connect advice, which where I work, is first 4 hours are free, And then there's 30 hours at $49 an hour. Do I have enough time? Or that's only it. I'll just skip through. So here's a quick one. I just wanted to show a couple of things we did, because when I first started talking to a few companies, they thought, well, he's semi from the government, so they mustn't really commercialise stuff. So I just wanted to show you things. So this is this Parramatta Rail project. Here's some direct quotes from clients. And now when we go out there, what I love is people grab us and say, oh, you're the Business Connect guys. Can you come and see my business now? When we first worked out there, no one wanted our help. But now we're getting results. Now they're calling us in. So we have nearly 600 businesses we're now looking after. And now we're taking over Carlingford as well. We're putting new rail lines down. But I just want to have a quick chat, if I may, with Dylan. Dylan started 12 months ago, and he didn't have a business idea yet. He just wanted to be in business. And he did 4 months research before he started, so he sharpened the axe before he started. He worked out the digital campaign. Now, I won't say exactly what Dylan does, except to say he buys something for $2, I'm making the numbers up, and he sells it for $10. In less than 12 months, Dylan was at our breakfast function. He turns over $17 million now. So one of the things I talked about is connecting and having a network. And what I'm concerned about, and why I very much enjoyed hearing what ServiceNow is doing, is you don't know what you don't know. And your ABN can only get my help once. So I do get people going, oh, gee, I'm trying to register my domain name. And I'm going, no. Because my remit is to create jobs in New South Wales. That's what I'm gold on. That's what I have to report on. It's very hard to do when they're asking me concierge questions for ServiceNow. So I will be referring them to ServiceNow for sure. But one of the things is you don't know what you don't know. So they're all great questions. So what we've done, and we'll be working with ServiceNow a bit more, but we have quite a few experiences where you can come along and actually meet with half a dozen different consultants and advisors for free in a very social setting. We call it networking, but no one's selling anything. We don't sell anything. The clients aren't selling anything. We're just asking questions like, on Instagram, do you get many referrals? Do you sell many using Facebook ads, or do you get a better? So you're getting a better result from Instagram. So we're actually sharing information and knowledge. Just a quick question. How many people know that you can go to the ATO website and get benchmarking for your business? That they compare the tax returns and you can find out, even if you're a charcoal chicken shop, what your lease amount should be, what your wages should be, what your gross profit margin should be, what ratios you should be tuning up for. How many knew that? It's a free service. And it's another reason why you need the advisors, because what we do is we use those benchmarks because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So once you've gone along and you've gained some of this knowledge and information, then you can become a member. Now, a Realised Business member, basic membership is free. And then when you do, we'll tell you about all these events, such as when we brought Dylan out, and we explained everything has to be very tangible. We don't do showy presentations. It's how you did it, what were the numbers, what are the phone numbers, how do you do things. Once you've done that, then you come to Business Connect. And when you get into Business Connect, we're advisors. So we can build you a strategy if you want your strategy done, but typically it's often to parachute in and fix something or to put out a fire. But once you've got an idea of how to run your business and you know what you're going, we work out what's called a run rate, or we call it a momentum formula. And basically it is, when I invest $1,000, in 43 days, I can turn that $1,000 into $3,493, and there's my momentum formula. And we turn every business into a formula similar to that. So no matter what business you're in, I can compare likes for likes. Once we've done that, we then move into coaching. And coaching is where now we allow you, or we help you find the answers to build your business as well. And then that allows us to do the most important thing, and that's to turn your business into an asset so you can do what you really love and enjoy time in your community in Willoughby. And if you're not in Willoughby, bad luck. So, a little bit about myself as well, because I'm a local citizen. So I'm a member, just one of the members of Realise Business Team. I'm an entrepreneur in resident for the New South Wales Government at the Startup Hub. I've personally had four startups go top 100 and one list on the stock exchange. So I've been through what it's like in starting up a business. I've been through my stomach turning over on cash returns and I wish there was someone to help me. But I'm also a local resident. I'm often the JP at the Willoughby Library, and I volunteer to domestic violence and for refugees who are starting business for free every Saturday between 9 and 12. And I'm also the Harvard Business School judge for the New Venture Competition for Asia Pacific. I've been doing it for 9 years now. And so I tour Asia Pacific to assist people to prepare to pitch for the funding. And then around March, I go to Shanghai to judge the actual competition, which has contributed $3.2 billion already. So, and I'm one of the advisors. So we've had a fair bit of experience. If you'd like a free membership, you'll have these slides, but you just realisebusiness.com.au. And if you ever would like to book an advisor, and I'm going to work out something with Service New South Wales, so depending on your questions, I might send you to Service New South Wales, because I want you to save your 34 hours to get the most value, because I'd like you to create jobs and grow, and Service New South Wales wants you to build a platform so you can leverage off that, and I want to leverage you. So you're very welcome to call us and send an email to booking@realisebusiness.com.au. And we'll have a conversation with you, and we may refer you back to Service New South Wales for a little while. But if not, you will be allocated an advisor who will then build your strategy or whatever you need to do to create jobs in this Realise business. Thank you. Tricia.
Take questions at this
Oh,
point.
yeah, sorry. Yeah. So if it helps you, I can discuss public and private capital raises, funding, or any questions on startups or small business, or how business can solve your particular problem. Yes, sir?
Let me throw you a question. Can you hear me? I'll use this. The roadmap that you had for startups.
Yes.
Last time I looked at that a few months ago, there was one of the items there that was near the beginning that New South Wales government had suspended or was...
Yeah, MVP grant.
And is that still going or not?
No, it's back.
It's back.
So the New South Wales government is, I think you're getting a flavour of it for New Service now. I think you're getting a flavour with the council. You know, they're very much working hand in hand with the community now. There's not so much red tape. So what they're doing is they're going through the grants and the investment so that we're investing in the right businesses, and then we can discover the right business and we can get the money to the right business. So the MVP grant's a little difficult in the past, but it's a lot easier now.
Okay.
So, and if it helps, I actually advise on the other side of the grant in helping construct that grant. Good. Any other questions? Great. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. That's true.